Hey guys, welcome to our debut episode here of Colonel's All Access. I announced this week that we're going to take a deeper look into South High football next year. Trying to put together a docu-series. Going to come up with a name with it. We're not going to release it yet. But we're here to talk preseason football, keep football fresh, talk about what these kids are doing in the off season to stay prepared, and basically anything football. We hope to do this every week, and thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Platt's Landscaping, Shern's Boxing, Remodel Works, and Emily's Interiors. Without you guys, we couldn't be here. So with that being said, let's get it on. All right, guys, thank you. As I was just mentioning in earlier broadcast, the opening here, we're here tonight with my friend, special guest, Coach Bob LaRose. Thank you for coming through tonight. Very first debut episode of hopefully many more, Colonel's All Access. Big play right off of Patriots All Access. I'm robbing it. But I dig it, man. Some off-season, keep football fresh.
Yeah, it's Colonel's All Access should be like a 365-day thing. You know what I mean?
I'm in. If there's anyone in, I got to be a leading vote getter for that. I think people
there's
know.
No doubt. You might be the only vote getter, but it's
also true. Also true. So we've had a good week here at South High. A little bit of basketball action. I was depressed. The girls' season ended, but the All-Star game was pretty good yesterday. I know I seen you there.
Yeah.
What's going on now? Are we going to get some good baseball this year? I've talked to Mr. Papagni. That's the next sport up, it seems like.
I hope so. I just looked at their schedule last night, actually. I looked at their schedule, and I haven't seen them on the field. You know, I've seen the kids in the cage. That doesn't tell you a whole lot.
Are there any athletes? Is there anyone from the football team on that plays baseball too?
There are a couple kids that played in the spring in that fall too, that play now that didn't play fall football with us. Boza, the Boza kid, and one other, but no, not really. There's not that transition doesn't happen anymore. It's I wish it did, I wish it did. I wish more kids played more sports because they need to expand their, colleges look for that stuff. They look for that double-edged sword. They look for you to be, a multi-tool. They look for you to have, good grades, all that stuff, but it's all got to be in there. And I think it helps kids. And I do think a lot of the problem with some of the kids nowadays is everyone thinks they're going Division I.
Yeah. I mean, in one retrospect, it's nice to see people keep the dream alive, but it is kind of.
I'd say the reality of things are if you work hard in high school and get your grades good and oh wait, we got a special guest here.
What's up?
Wait, a live checker from the shirtless Angelo LaRose, phenomenal. So you want just all the time?
He never has a shirt on, man. I wouldn't either, I guess.
Phenomenal. Angelo, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great. How you doing?
I can't complain. How's Andy's attic doing?
He's doing great, man.
Yeah.
Pumping out orders, keeping track of everything. Donations are coming in well.
Love it. So you keep them going, man. I've seen you guys doing a great job up there.
Of course.
Also, let's give a shout right now to John Vickers.
Oh, he's the mayor.
he should already be a professional dude on the mic, man.
You should.
Phenomenal. He's got a career there, I'll tell you. I hope he sticks with it. He was good this year.
He's awesome. He's the mayor. We call him the mayor.
The mayor of South High. That's who he is. Yeah.
Unreal, man. That's awesome. Also, funny, a few of the podcasts, I was watching you and your buddies shoot at halftime, and I was making a joke that those girls would smoke you guys in a 5-on-5.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But
I can't shoot a basketball to save my life. Good thing I'm good at football because I can't play anything else, you know.
You said it, not me. It was funny to watch you guys though. But phenomenal, man. So what's going on? I seen you guys working out. It's only 4 months away, guys. Are we ready?
I'm ready to go right now.
I see that. So
I'm ready to go right now.
You're 100%? Leg
Yep.
injury, people were worried about that. We're going in 100% fresh this year.
I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger. You know, I think we have a lot of good things coming. Our younger class coming up is focused and determined, and I really like what I'm seeing from them in the weight room, just our core guys.
I saw Big Noah. We obviously got the deadlift video up there, lifting a small vehicle, powerlifting a small vehicle. But, hey, we're excited. We're getting excited, man. I know it's early, but, Coach, every Saturday you guys have these guys pumping iron. Give me a little bit of what's going on in there. Who's getting strong? What are we looking out for this year?
So I would say, just like Angelo said, he's just down here to get food. He's going to the extra fridge in the basement here to get some food. You know, that's why he came down. Yeah, he came down in my little space. You know, but I would say we got 20 to 25 kids like really making progress. And a lot of the younger guys, and I mean, people will say I'm crazy to say this, but we're still like a young team.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what to me is like, okay, but we're already planning for like him to be gone, you know, like we got some kids, and we don't get everybody there every week, but you know, the Saturday things is good. It's, you know, skills and drills, and we got a quarterback coach in there now, like with our quarterbacks. And I think our quarterback is got a tremendous upside.
Rancid
Aldi is going to be a name on the tip of people's tongues soon enough, I would say. And he's a worker. He's determined. He's a little bit ornery, which is great, you know, as a quarterback. And we're getting we had some kids injured last year that people didn't realize, you know, DeAndre McLeod, you know, a couple of linemen. We had a kid leave to go to Bartlett because some crazy situation, and he's back. He was probably our best DB and receiver before he left, and that happened like a week before the season last year. So, you know, we never complain when stuff happens, but it's nice to get, you know, the gang back together and seeing what it looks like. And like some of our deficiencies last year, it looks like we're going to be a little stronger in those areas. I think we have some depth on the line. We get some kids really working hard. Chris Winfield is like killing himself in the weight room every day, and the kid's a monster. Julio Salinas is killing himself in the weight room. Noah Barrera is killing himself in the weight room. That's something we didn't have for 2 years. So to see the difference, and I'll tell you, like our running back coach, Brian Brothers, who was at my house last night.
South High legend,
good friend of mine. You know, and one time he was the all-time leading rusher at South High. Great guy. He was over the house last night, but he come up. I want to say one of the days you were there, but what he said was he hadn't seen the kids since Thanksgiving. So he was like, oh, man, I can't believe, you know, the progress of, man, they all look better. They all look bigger. They all look stronger. They all look faster. They're focused. Like, one of the things this group has done, and I think it started from the JV level, like that JV team turned out to be phenomenal because they had their own like group chat. They were into it. They're pushing some of these older kids, which is like good. You know what I mean? It's like a good, that's a culture thing. And that's more lasting than they're hungry. They're hungry for it. It's more lasting than, you know, some of the situations I've had before in the past up here where this is kind of where we wanted to be at, you know?
Yeah.
But when I tell people we're still young, they all roll their eyes at me. You know what I mean? So, but it's really the truth. I mean, it's really, I thought this would be a 4-year build, and we've only been doing it 2.5. So if all these kids stay here and they keep their grades up and that kind of thing, I mean, I think consistency is going to be in front of us instead of,
Love
you
it.
know,
So do you see more
consistency behind us was not doing the right thing and well, not necessarily not doing the right thing. You know, a lot of those kids are good kids, but like football wise was the consistency was not winning football games and not doing what you're supposed to do. And, you know, there was a lot of dynamics into that, but I'm really excited about where we're going.
I feel like the culture is changing. Like it seems more tight knit now. I don't know how else to explain it, but it seems like it's cool to be on the football team again at South High.
When we were that fall 2 season, like nobody even spoke in class because, mind you, the kids were out of school for a year, and then it was like an all of a sudden thing, and we didn't have a field, and we were practicing in the cold, and I had 3 or 4 or 5 basketball players there, like that were ready to, because of the 2019 season, they were ready to, you know, put their hat in the ring, and honest to God, they got like froze out, like it was just so cold and they were so new as players that they didn't have that camp football experience in August where it's hot and then it gets cold, and it wasn't really fair to them to it almost turned them off to football. And I just seen 3 or 4 of them the other day at the game that we were at Saturday, and they're like, yeah, coach, we're back. And I'm like, oh man, if all these cats come back, you know, it's going to take some shaking and figuring out, but to have some depth everywhere would be tremendous for us because we didn't have any last year. You know what I mean? We really didn't. We played a lot of guys both ways, and you know, people are like, I was at an event not too long ago at the Worcester Athletic Club, and I'm like, yeah, we only had like 40 kids, and they're like, people couldn't believe that. I'm like, no, 40 total, and not that I would love 80, but at this point, I don't know how to manage it. You know, it'd be a whole different ballgame. We don't have enough helmets, you know, to suit 80. So that would be a scramble, and we would be unfocused. We have some means to get some of that stuff done, but it's a
absolutely a lot of big opportunities with the new field coming up. I seen it. It seems like they're making progress. Are we far away from it?
They're ahead of schedule. And I watch a couple of these turf fields go down, and it's almost like sanding like a hardwood floor. Like, you know, you start with the 50 grit sandpaper, and then you go to the 75, then you go to the 100 to make it real smooth. They kind of have the 50 grit laid out. You've seen that.
Yeah.
When they start laying that finer stuff down and the turf's in place, it won't take long. It looks like they're still working on some drainage issues on like one side of it. There's a big hole there. I think when that's tied up, it's a matter of when they start smoothing that thing out, before you know it's going to be green turf there. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not going to take long. The lights are in, the bleach is on in, that kind of thing. They might do that first. But I know they're ahead of schedule. I know originally they were talking about late June. Now they're talking mid-April. So, and if that's the case, then you know, there's some spring youth football leagues around that we'd like to get the Vikings up there, maybe a Vikings Cowboys game or something like that. But I mean, in the spring, I think that's, I don't know if they even have, I don't think the Vikings have a team in the spring, but there's a lot of Vikings players on that Rock Harpers organization. I wouldn't mind having them up there for a spell. You know, to get we want to get the young kids up to that field and see the facility, and because as you know, South High is kind of its own little planet up there.
Yeah, it's starting to be. I know it all looks good. The atmosphere when that field goes in for games, what I really want to see. Like,
well, so Leicester week 1, right? And Coach Griff is great out in Leicester. He really is. Hot ticket. He made us say uncle 18 months ago. You know what I mean? And that was the game I wanted. It would be great to have like a Worcester youth team and a Leicester youth team play before us on that opening night. I don't know if that's possible. It would be wicked cool. Let's do something like that. Or maybe some little guys play at halftime or something. Promote their program and promote the city kids. But that's like a game we're looking forward to. We're planning for that. We're planning for that week 1 game, and that place is going to be sold out, man. I know it is. Like, I just know it's going to be around. So
that Leicester back in our day, I was 98. They were our rival. We used to see them at parties and rough it up a little bit. I know.
Oh, yeah, they've been good. They've been good. They've been good. And Griff was there for, I think, all with the exception of like 2 or 3 years. He went to Quabbin or something, but he's been there.
Rigo, they took Rigo from us. That's rivalry stuff.
Rigo, but Rigo's still a good man.
Awesome. The most intense human being I've ever met.
Yeah, he left. He's not coaching up there this year.
His first year, right?
His first year
coming up.
He's got a kid at Tantascwa, so he's not coaching at Leicester anymore. I hope he doesn't coach at Tantascwa because we play him in week 4. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping he sits this one out. You know? I don't want to play against his 4-3 with a monster, and they always seem to have kids. Or Rigo's defense seems like you're playing against 12 or 13 guys. Like,
he's unreal, man. Him himself. He used to. He put a kid in the hospital back in the day with no pads on, just running. He's a monster.
Big guy, yeah.
He's been on. He's been on the Big Jim Miller tribute show. He was on with us.
I've seen that. I watched that. Yep.
Good friend of the podcast. Good friend. That is, like I said, the most intense human being I've ever met. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
In a good way, positive way.
So we're all going down to a clinic at the end of the month down at Malden Catholic. It's we run like a gun tee offense, you can call it a gun tee, a pistol tee, whatever. But it's actually those two things are significantly different. But both guys are going to be there. They're both guys that run this stuff, Kenny Simpson and Rick Stewart. It's a 28-hour, 2-day, like hands-on stuff, like on the field. Answer all the questions you have, things like that. A lot of the stuff that we adjusted to last year, he uses in some of his things. The run game. We want to do some of this year. You know what I mean?
Don't give too much away. I was thinking about that before the pod. I was like, I can't ask him too much. I don't want.
Well, we're gonna have to. I mean, with the quarterback and the receivers, and the fact that Angelo had 1 million carries last year, we're going to cut down on some of that.
Yeah.
And be a little more balanced. You know what I mean? For everybody's sake, he could probably get the same amount of yards with 10 less carries if we're throwing 10 balls to some of our good receivers. We got some really good linemen that are young. Like, this line's going to be around for a couple of years. So. Yeah. And the quarterback's going to be around a couple of years. So I'm more excited about that, and it's just a matter of who we got coming up from the 8th grades. Like, in the next few weeks, I'll go down to Southern Middle and hang out with them for a lunch period and see what's going on. I'll comb some of the youth programs and see what's happening and what kids are in our district and what they're thinking and things like that. Because realistically, it's like you need to get 5 or 6 players in your program a year. Yeah. 1 or 2 might help you initially, which I've been playing freshmen for 3 years. but we're at a point now where it's going to be tough for a freshman to come in and like crack our lineup, so that's that's one step, one step. He's got to be phenomenal. Now Bo Jackson walks in, he's starting, but
yeah.
That's
who's coming behind Angelo? Who's the next running back prospect up?
So, I mean, we got this kid Ronald Smith who was hurt last year that doesn't look bad. He looks pretty good. He's working hard. He's a relative of Winfield. He needs some polish. He's never played running back before. I made him a running back. In youth he was something else, but the kid's working hard. He's not the same type of player as Angelo, obviously. I think Anderson Apano is going to give us a good look there.
Okay.
He's only a sophomore. Anderson, when Angelo got hurt in the fall too, ran for like 180 yards in a game. So, he's a good option there. But he's also a good slot player. He's a good, replacing Stevie Solano is not going to be easy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Defensively too. Like defensively, he was a hammer, and he was kind of like like a heartbeat of the program. And
yeah.
Stevie and I are going through like where he's going to play now in college, and that's been interesting the last month or so, to say the least. But
where is he headed?
I think WestCon. So I'm hoping WestCon. But crazy story, the guy that was recruiting him from WestCon, like Stevie called me, he's like, this guy, like, he's blocked my number, like I can't get a hold of him on Twitter. Eventually we get a hold of this other guy. He's been on the job like a week. He's like, yeah, tell Stevie, like, the guy died tragically in like a car accident. Like, so that's why I'm going to tell you a story about Stevie Solano right now. And this was Stevie's in class with a kid and Stevie's not a privileged kid at all. I mean, Stevie's a Main South kid that he doesn't have a lot. He's, nothing really, but good people, right? They're good people. So Stevie had a kid in class that was having some trouble with a bunch of things, dress and the whole 9 yards. I don't want to put the kid out there, but Stevie went to principal with a backpack. He said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" They go in the principal's office. He said, "Yeah, this kid's struggling in class. Like, he needs some help. But can you call him down here? I don't want to embarrass him, So the principal calls him down. Stevie had a bunch of like clothes for him, like, and nothing was left, like underwear, toothpaste, shirts, coat, sneakers, nothing was left unturned. That's the quality kid that kid is. But
nice, yeah.
He don't want no credit. He don't want nothing. That's the kind. So it's hard to replace that. Say what you want about him on the field, but Stevie spends some nights at my house. He's friends with Angelo. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to replace a kid with that kind of character. So I'm kind of looking. You know what I mean? That's one big thing. Like, if I would say we're missing anything from last year, it would be him, and what he represents. So if he can represent, if we can find a kid that does half of what he does, then we're in good shape. Like a replacement, so to speak.
Yep. Yeah, he was great this year. It was nice to see him score in that one of those last couple games. He rumbled, man.
Oh, yeah.
He was awesome. And I got a picture with him on the field. I think maybe with his nephew or something like that. But
that's his brother, Emmett. The little guy.
I think you're right, actually, because I asked Anna in the beginning. I was like, "Does he have a kid?" Because you don't know. I mean, there were. So, but yeah, it was his brother. You're right, and it was awesome picture though. I mean, he's obviously.
Emmett's the man. You got to send me that picture, but Emmett's the man.
I will.
Yeah, Emmett's the
guy. That's what you're building there. The role model factory.
Yeah, we got some new coaches coming in that are role models. We're keeping the current staff. Like, everyone's back. We added a couple guys. I don't know. I'm really excited about the whole thing, and I got to be honest with you. My assistants have been doing 90% of the work the last like month or so. I'm a fireman, but I'm transitioning to another job, and
Yeah,
it's been a little
congratulations, by the way. It
yeah.
was your last day. I don't know if the audience knows. Coach is a fireman. That's his regular job for a million years, right? Now,
Yeah.
what's the new position?
It's a public ed job on the fire department. So it's just a different division. It's a day shift job. So
Yeah.
I'll be able to do that. Spend a little more time on the weekends with everything we got going on. And the fire department's pretty good with me. You know what I mean? The chief's good. They're all good. They do a good job in promoting good deeds, I would say, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I start tomorrow. Imagine that, you know. So I get on. I'm certified to do it. I actually taught school for like 8 months before I was a fireman. So at a alternative school in the city, science. I was like one chapter ahead of the kids. Like I was reading like the night before and like trying to catch up.
Yeah, I get it.
But
who do we add to the staff?
So we're gonna have this guy Mark Garrett, who was at Burnco last year as a volunteer, but he lives right up next door to South, and he's got some like handicap issues, you know, like so he didn't want to make the trek to Burncoat anymore. He's a role model. He was an ex-state cop. He was the head coach at Assumption at one time. He was the head coach at AIC. Coached on some NFL staffs. Really like just a role model type guy. He was a Vikings guy for a long time, and
Okay.
So Mike Maldonado on our staff, him and Chris Capullo have been running the weight room for the last like 2 months, and they're doing an unbelievable job. And I apologize to him every day because I haven't been spending as much time up there as I should be, you know, rightfully so. However, they're doing a fantastic job. We got a program in, but Mark's just another addition to what we want to be diverse. We want to look like the school. And I think my staff is coming together to look like that, you know, and Mark's a great addition. So we also got a young guy at the school, this kid called. He just graduated from Assumption. He's doing some of his student teaching at the school. Really good, intense guy. Coaches DBs. He was a DB. That's kind of where we were struggling last year. A little bit. I think our kids got better at the end of the year, certainly. But
you know, I think they were really unlucky. They were there to defend every pass, even the long ones. There was a lot of BS, though. I've seen a lot of bullshit, like that one in North Middlesex. Kid tipped it to himself, but I think they got unlucky on a lot of the jump balls.
Yeah, there's certainly. I think their technique, yeah, like you've seen, like even Pugsy against Clinton picked off 2 passes. You know, Pugsy was the center last year. You know,
Yep.
And like the way things happened with DeAndre out, and then you know Turbo, leaving. It was like I was like, yeah, dude, you're like a corner. Like, if you want to get on the field, you're up. So I don't fault him for any of the early struggles. You know, he got it together later in the year, and he's getting big enough right now where he might end up being like a linebacker type, you know. So we'll see, but his progression was, you know, 1% better every day is kind of one of the things we talk about when I talk to the kids. I'm like, we got to get 1% better every day. Don't get worse, you know. Just whatever you're doing. Some days we do, you know. Individually or team wise, we get worse. You know, you have a bad day, but you know, average it out and make sure you're getting 1% better every day. You know, okay. Then I would sure Diego would tell you the same thing. You know what I mean? I mean, he had kind of a fine-tuned machine there for 22 games. You know.
Yeah.
But you gotta get better. You know, and basketball is a different thing, man. You got to hit shots, right? So.
That is the name of the game, man. I'll tell you, if they had stayed hot, I think they would have went the distance. I think Malden Catholic took it, right? Did they win the whole thing?
In that division, it was Oliver Ames.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Oliver Ames beat the team we were going to bump into, Norwood or something.
Yeah.
Was the one seed. Oliver Ames was the two. I knew that early in the bracket. I was looking at the brackets early, and Oliver Ames was like bombing teams, and I'm like, "What's up with this?" You know?
Yeah.
And they beat Norwood, or I think in the final. But yeah, no Oliver Ames. Division 2. I mean, the guy went 22-2, right?
Yeah.
Out of the gate, just pulled off an all-star game. And what was most impressive about the whole thing, granted, it didn't have the excitement of some of those playoff games where people are screaming and yelling and going wild, right? But
yeah.
I watched the coaches, you know, and even I was sitting with you for a minute there. When these girls are coming off the court, like Diego was treating every girl like they had played for him forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of them have. He's got
I know some of them have, but some of them haven't either, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it made all those girls, whether they've played for him for a long time or have not, feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, about that situation and that place in life and what he was doing for them. And I think the guys on the other, the guy that was from Abby Kelly, like you were saying, had like 6 girls, but like 2 of them were there. You know, I don't know what the final of that game was, but it was close. You know, it was an all-star thing. But
somebody asked me the score and who won. I was like, I have no idea. I didn't I wasn't really there to watch someone win or lose, you know. But it was.
But those guys, like, I think that event will get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that he pulled it off once, and not that it was bad in any way, shape, or form, but it'll become more grandiose, I think, going forward.
Yeah, I think so too. They could have some kind of thing at halftime, or I think, first time out, they know what they can add.
He could do it. He could do a 3-point contest and dunk contest for the boys, and you know what I mean. He could do some fun stuff like that, and then you're gonna get a little more excitement and that kind of thing. And it's good for everybody to just hang out. And realistically, all the city kids deserve more credit than they get.
Yeah,
so
it's the truth. Well, we're working on that. I think
like there was no coverage of that in the local paper. But I was looking for it. I'm like, there was, but I didn't see anybody up there when I was there. But there should have been somebody there.
Yeah,
right.
I think so too. I think so too.
So going into next year with the new field, like all of us are so jacked up about that first Friday night that we might be sloppy for a bit, I think, coming out of the gate, because we're just going to be so wild about it,
First carry, game number 1, no pressure, but Angelo is probably going to break an 80-yard touchdown. Place is going to go nuts. It's going to be inaugural. I already see it. I vision it.
I hope so, man. Like I told you today that North Carolina is going to win by 20. I hope you're 100% right.
I didn't expect them. They shouldn't even have been this far. I mean, on paper, it didn't seem like it, but it would have been cool to watch them go another round.
Well, everybody, I was rooting, and my wife was rooting for the underdog, and I was like, I get it. I am too, but the reality of it is I think they were gassed. I like the coach. I don't think he's going to be there next year. I think he's going to be at Seton Hall because their coach left. That's where he's from. So
I wouldn't doubt it. The Final Four right now is about as cliche as it could be, minus Kentucky probably, but
it ends up that way, doesn't it?
Every year.
It seems to end up that way.
Yeah.
So isn't the the Final Four in football, right? It's not so. I mean, Cincinnati's been the only one since 2000, whatever they started it, that has broke into that barrier. And if they went to 8, I think that tournament would be phenomenal.
They got to do something. It's
Absolutely.
almost like, I don't know. They definitely, I would like to see them, like you said, yeah, maybe 8 or even 16.
Even 16.
Even 16 would be good.
Because now you're talking, if a 15 beats a 2, look out, right? It's a whole different thing. That's, NCAA tournament. Although, I think it might equate to the same way. I was trying to do the math on that real quick, but 64, if you're 15, you're like a 60. It's like a 16 and 8 or something,
Yeah.
But yeah, 15.
Every year. I think they take it down this year.
If Kansas plays like they did in the second half tonight, nobody beats them.
Yeah.
If DeMar was here, he might say differently.
I tried to get him on, man. I'll tell you, he gets pumped up before these podcasts. He's going to be on the next one after this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the work in progress, which it's been a good one too. Man, we're only at like half capacity. I had like, as we get going, I'm supposed to have a pod every night, hopefully 5 days a week.
Yeah.
The
other thing we got to get, we got like girls softball at South, right? We got to get more competitive there. We got to get more competitive baseball. I think all those things are coming. Like, just with the facility, it's just not complete yet. It's almost like we've been waiting forever, right?
Yeah.
For all these things to happen, and they're trickling in little by little. And the more they do, the more access we're going to have, the more event. You've seen that school on Saturday was hopping. There was a dance recital up there.
Yeah.
AP like practice testing going on. There was the basketball all-star thing. Like the week before, there was a volleyball tournament and dance, and like the school's hopping. So that's a great thing. Way more so than the old school. Even though I miss the old school, like, because I knew every nook and cranny. Like, this one I'm still not comfortable in yet. Like, I don't even know where to go half the time. Like an airport hangar.
That place is monstrous, man.
It's too big. It's too big. They got to hustle. Like, if you were like a security guard there, you do like 30 or 40,000 steps a day just walking around. On your Fitbit. Seriously. Drink water and roam the halls, and you'll be as thin as you could be. It wouldn't be a bad job.
Yeah, no doubt. I know it's all coming together nicely up there. I think by football it'll be full speed, hopefully. Hopefully even before that. I mean, the whole field, everything done.
North had a nice fundraiser the other night with the sheriff's department and all that. The North football. I don't know if you've seen that.
I didn't catch it, no.
Like a bocce tournament. They got what's the sheriff, Evangelistus or whatever.
Yeah.
The coach Charlie knew some people up there. They put this whole thing together for him. They raised like $8 to $10 grand, doing some big event. I forget the name of the place. There was a little write up about it on the sheriff's like Twitter page or whatever. But it seems like he's stepping in the right direction. Bronco always has players, like they always have 60 kids playing, so that's not an issue. And Doherty's always Doherty. Derek's got his whole team back next year from 8-3.
Yeah,
he's 8-3. And he played Leominster and us late in the year. So, I mean, the guy was 7-1 on his regular season. He upped his schedule a little bit. I think he picked up Auburn and a couple others to, if he can do that. But I think city sports in general, I mean, one of the things we got to talk about is like funding, like that's.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's we still don't have like freshman teams unfunded, and we don't have as many coaches as we should paid, right? And they're not getting paid as much. They're not getting paid as much as they should be. I mean, it's not like you make a fortune doing this stuff, but I mean, that's one of the things we got to work on our counselors and our school committee people about collectively. I mean, you can't be the one, the one complainer, and you're not even complaining, but or the one suggester all the time. Like everybody's
Right.
we need a little bit more of that, and you can't handicap your athletic director with those kind of things. You can't. That's some of the things that need to change, and it's never anytime you get into politics, it's not a good thing, and I don't get involved in politics.
Yeah.
My thing. So, but you almost have to. You got to talk to politicians to get that done. So
that's where I get. Yeah, you're right. That's where it begins.
Like where do you begin? How much do you want to sell your soul, right? To get things done.
We were going to get Jermaine on, Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, you are?
He agreed to come on, but it's hard to get in touch with him, man. He's big time now that he's in City Hall.
Some stuff happened.
Answers his page for him.
some stuff happened with him this week that I'll talk about. Not him, but to him. I won't. I'm not going to talk about it here, but I'll tell you off the air. That's not good. Not good for who did it to him, I should say.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good stuff overall. And I'm going to reach out to Jermaine myself and try to figure some of that stuff out.
We got to get him on. Tell him to come on. I know he agreed, but it's tough to get in touch with him. I know.
It is tough. It is tough. Yeah.
Southside Colonel, was he's the all-time scoring leader or something like that?
I don't know if he's the all-time scorer. I know he's a 1,000-point scorer. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if he's the all-time leading scorer, but he might have been, man. The kid was averaging like 10 or 12 a game as a freshman. So, and 20 a game for a couple of years. So he might be, I don't know. If you ask me about football, I could tell you. Basketball, I just know he's a 1,000-point scorer. He might be a South High Hall of Famer too.
I don't doubt that. But it'd be great to have him on. I mean,
he grew up with my sister. He spent a lot of time in my house, but she's 3 years younger than me. So Jermaine's 3 years younger than me. But Jermaine's great. And, he can tell you what I'm talking about when you get him on, I wish I could send him a link right now. I'd say, come on, let him tell the story. But
anytime.
I won't do that.
Yep. So we'll kick it to one national question before we wrap it up here. What do you think about Tom Brady to the Dolphins?
I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think it's close?
So I know he's building a house down there, like off of some little spot near Miami. So my personal thought is, I think their ownership's a mess in Miami, because who the heck wouldn't want to play in Miami, right? Like if I was a free agent and I'm looking around and I could write my ticket, I mean, aren't you going warm weather? I mean, that's me. I'm going warm weather, personally.
Even in Tampa, though, it's warm. I mean,
it was warm. I think Bruce Arians is, he might be an ass,
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think they clash. I can see it happening, man. I can see it happening. Like,
I don't know if he'll go to the AFC East. I think Buffalo's tough now. In Miami, like I said, I don't think Miami's where Tampa was when he went to Tampa, if you think about it that way.
He gets to play the Patriots twice. The NFL loves that. For conspiracy.
The NFL does. The NFL does for sure. I think I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's an ownership thing. I think eventually he's going to be part owner of that franchise. That's what I think.
Of Tampa Bay?
No, of Miami.
Miami, really?
Yeah, that's my own thought.
I get it.
He's having a little foresight here, because what I seen, his house is like 15 months from being completed down there. It's on some exclusive island off the coast of Miami. Some little.
Tom Brady Island, probably.
Yeah, there's like 4 other people on it, but he's got a piece of it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that is where he's going. We also have one of the couple of Iman Dennis's brothers, cousins, or South District kids that are 8th graders that might be coming to South next year. So
Really?
yeah. So I'm hoping they do. One of them's, I think they're both playing for the Rockhoppers right now. They're Quincy Village kids. So we're hoping they roll our way. And
that's early recruiting.
well, we are recruiting.
Yeah.
You can't say that word. They're in our district, but I'm hoping they don't leave. So, for me, it's a matter of telling them not to leave, not necessarily recruiting. It's like, come up here. We run the ball, kid. You know what I mean? We run the ball.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
You want to wear 6 in a year, you can wear 6, for a little while,
Yeah.
But so that is a big kid down in Sullivan. They call him Big Philly. He's like 6'4", 330. He's another kid coming up this year.
What?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of him. Yeah. Big
6'4",
Philly.
330?
Yeah, 8th grader.
I don't know what they're feeding these kids these days.
I don't know if he can play. You know what I mean? But I'd like to start with that statue. And,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Got a 5'4", 330.
Yeah. Those are my numbers. Those were my numbers, for Christ's sake.
So, we'll start with that and see what happens. But those 8th graders, as big as they are, their shoulders still aren't turned yet. They're still like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You can see it. It's nice seeing these high school kids now like that, and that happens. Like I said, the Ronald Smith kid, like his workout thing has been awesome. Like just seeing him like evolve from like kind of a kid with no position to actually making himself into a serviceable player.
Yeah.
That's good. And having the grit.
I'm getting some good info here for the show that we got coming up. I don't know what we're naming it, but there's a few names on the table, but like the Hard Knocks Colonels.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll figure. You can figure something out. You'll get between now and then, but it's a lot of work. You got to get a camera too, man. You can't do it on an iPhone 13.
I'm telling you, the iPhone is working, but we're gonna
might need 2 of them. You might need 2 of them.
I do, yeah, exactly. I got an old iPad. I got old equipment. We'll be updating, but man, I'll tell you.
I got a couple cameras. I got a couple cameras, so I'll lend you one.
I'll tell you, this is a huge issue in boxing. I'll tell you, I can't even get into it. I'll get mad.
I know.
But I get like all the videos come out good. Shout out to Danny Ortiz. I got, I should be teaming up with him a little bit more than I have been because he's a pro. He was
the thing with the camera is you can tape the whole thing and then cut it up.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be, you don't run out of space,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe it's part laziness too, like I'm trying not to. I think I can just go back and have the highlight, It's a learning curve. But
well, you're a Webster Square kid. You're stubborn, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you got in a beef with a guy about your iPhone, you're not going to get off your iPhone. Like that's it.
Exactly. I got to prove that I can do it with it.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Just like, screw this guy. I'm going to do it my way.
Look, I'm not changing yet. We'll see.
But then you'll go buy a nice camera, and you'll be like, why the heck didn't I do this? Like, a year ago.
Yeah.
Way easier.
I'm learning. I think we've done all right so far. We got 1 year in. It'll be 1 year, April 21st. I'm going to have Peter McNeely back on again.
Well, I hope I hope it lasts for you. And that'd be my only concern is you starting this. And, this guy, Walter Bird, a couple of years ago had started this like radio show. Like he got some time on the air, but he was paying for it. I did a couple interviews with him. He was really good about that. And he was trying to do all the Central Mass sports stuff. And then it just faded off, man. He just disappeared after like 3 months. And he's still around. I mean, but
actually, he may be my most recent friend request on Facebook. Or not request, but friend. I think we finally started the hatchet, I think.
Yeah, I did. But, that I'm really hoping you can do what you do and be independent. You know what I mean?
I think we got a good plan going forward. The only issue that I have, and it's not really even an issue, but is I'm only one person. So if it's not to happen on the same night, so I need to be able to either pay someone to go get videos for me, or I can only do what I can do, Like it was an issue with the boys and girls, and
you've been so good that there's got to be people asking you to help you.
They have, but it's got to be the right person, and like maybe interns or whatever, because it's not super rocket science. But I want to know what I'm doing first. You know what I mean? Like to be able to say, hey, I can guide you. I gotta know like myself.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. Yeah.
1 year training. It was self-taught, but it started in the end zone. I'll tell you, and I owe a lot of it to the success of football and basketball. To follow people that are winning is a whole different game than following sports all the time. You know what I mean? I got lucky with you guys this year. It was.
Well, we got lucky with you too. It goes both ways.
I appreciate it. I do. I enjoyed the entire season, man. It was almost to a point. Remember, I asked you if you were calling plays to where I was. That's how many times I got Angelo scoring. Like, amazing, But I'm looking forward to it. I'll have a lot under my belt by the time it comes around this year. So.
Yeah, we'll do, like I said, we start this summer, obviously, now you have kind of all access to South with, some of the connections you made with the administration. So, it's, that's all good, it's all, where's Mike? That's what people are going to be saying now, where's Mike? Oh,
I was there in Duxbury in that crowd, man. And the dragon with the flag, I'll never forget it, man. I'll never forget it, but I was there, and I'll be at everyone. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I love going.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
I love basketball in person. Like, I always, when I watch basketball in person, like, I think basketball and hockey are the two sports that are better in person, right? For sure.
Yeah.
They are on TV. I think football either way is pretty good, but on TV in the NFL might be better.
Yeah.
But hockey and basketball at that level, like in person, even high school, is phenomenal. I've seen probably a couple hundred basketball games at South High in my lifetime, and elsewhere. And I will say, like, I can't give enough shout outs to Diego, man.
Well, it's incredible what he's done.
I think he took it to like a different level, right? On the whole Colonels thing, and he's embraced it. And one of the conversations I had with him was, I was like, "Hey, bro, like, you've been looking for love your whole life, man. I watched your podcast in Holy Name where like you felt like you were dirted on at North, and like you had to earn your stripes at Holy Name, and then you were an assistant coach forever, and you don't get the job. Like I said, you were looking for the wrong love, bro. I said, South High has a different love, and now you got it. Like." I'm like, you'll see, and he does now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He understands. It's a different thing. I say that all the time. Like, the pride there is different than other schools. Doherty has a good one, but we have a whole different level of that type of thing, and he got it now. And then I see the guy at Holy Name Girls or St. Paul, whatever they are now. Venerin, that's been there for 1,000,000 years, resigns, right? And people are asking me, is Diego going to go back? I said, there's no effing way that guy's leaving what he has. There's no way. And they're like, no way, he's a holy name guy. He's going to go back. I go, there's no way.
Never. Yeah.
No way. You know what I mean? There's no way. We gave him a big hug, man. He ain't going anywhere. We ain't letting him go.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. It was awesome. This year was awesome to follow. I mean, overall, you know. It's not going to end, Pags. Baseball, we're going to...
Let's go, Pags. Let's go, Pags is right. Yep. Let's go, Pags. Like,
we're
you better...
pump that program up. He's got a hat for me. I'll tell you, the merch I'm getting out of this whole deal is worth it by itself, man. I got a whole new wardrobe. So
there's more coming. There's more coming. We got some stuff coming, you know? And, like I said, I think everybody at Style High, you know, is appreciative of what you've done for us this year. And, you know, that's the truth. That's not just anyone blowing smoke up your ass, you know.
I appreciate it, and I'm doing it like out of straight interest and love. You know what I mean? It's good that they're getting covered. And also, I like the kids. You know, like I said, South High's always gotten the shit end of the stick. So we're trying to change that because it's deserved. You know what I mean? Treat us like a $250 million school.
When you see DeMar, when you talk to DeMar later tonight on the next podcast, here, you tell him that him and I should do a show. You know,
let's go. He'll do it, dude. He's such a good dude, man.
I love listening to him talk. I'd love to have a conversation like on air with him because he'll put you in a different direction, and you know what I mean. And you have some different things to say, but make sure you tell him. I don't know if it's live tonight. I'll have to watch it tomorrow if it's not. But yeah, you tell DeMar that Bob LaRose wants to do a show at DeMar, you know.
I'll set it up, man. I'll get it going. It's all he'll talk to anyone. The dude is just the most down to earth dude.
He does his homework on all sports too. He knows he's got his ear on the city on what's going on. So, and I do too. So I wouldn't mind talking to him about some cats and, you know, breaking some things down. His kids are awesome. So yeah, fun conversation. I enjoy him. I enjoy him immensely. I love your buddy from the Blondie Stone there. He's awesome. Like, love listening to that kind of talk.
Who, Jeremy?
Yeah, the guy you do. He smokes his cigars. He's in his garage with the
that's Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not really Blondie, but he's like city.
City.
He used to bartend at Rosie O'Grady, I think.
There you go. Old Rosie's. Oh my
Green
God.
Street. So he's Green Street.
But Rosie. See, you don't remember like the Tipperary pub and that kind of thing. That was like, ask him if he's older than you. But Tipperary pub, man, that place would be rocking. Dollar drafts on a Sunday night down there where 146 and Walmart is now. The whole place would be bound, like the floor would be rocking, you know.
The Irish Club.
Well, that was the Irish Club was where you went when the Tip closed.
Oh, okay.
You know? Yeah, there was two. He'll tell you, you know. He'll tell you. Crazy thing. Yeah, Sunday nights, you know. Sunday nights when you're 21. I'm 51, so, you know, I'm a bit older than you. And that place.
You're a seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran, yeah. Not anymore. You know what I mean? Not anymore. You can't do that stuff anymore. But Mike, this has been awesome. I don't know how long you want to go on here, but you know.
We can wrap it up. Great combo, man. I appreciate it. We'll get deeper as we go on here. Seems like these kids are on the right track. We had a phenomenal guest cameo from the Polar Express himself.
That's right. Polar Express came down looking for food, you know. And, you know, September 9th, I think, is opening night against the Wolverines. 01524 is their zip code, or 1603 is coming after them. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about, right? You know. So
I appreciate it.
We'll do it again. You talk to DeMar tonight. When you talk to him, you tell him I'm ready, you know.
I'm setting it up tonight. We'll lock it down.
All right, my man.
I appreciate it.